exactly do this on purpose. I was just kind of feeling the blue, and as it turns out, a lot of your cards here are in this blue period. So we'll take a look at them all individually, but I will give you a sort of close up. These are cards that I made. They're mono printing. Here we go into focus. Um, and we'll go through all of the individual meanings and how they combine. What the spread that I did is a Celtic cross, which is 10 cards. And each position has its own meaning. Like, you know, how when you put letters into words, the words now have meaning, kind of similar. So let's just we'll go over the positions first, and then I will explain where everybody is. So there is your most recent past and your most recent future. And those are kind of like a Venn diagram, right? Because when is the moment over? How do you define when a moment is over, right? There's not really like a clock on it, right? So most recent past, most recent future. The card in the middle is your significator, which is that one. And your significator is basically you in the eye of the storm. And then the crossing card is the storm. Your crowning card is the best you think of yourself. I'm a good person. I would never steal, right? Whatever that, maybe you would, but whatever your high moral standard is, like, that's your crowning card. But your base card is your lizard brain. And what you know, if you're left to your own devices, you might eat cereal for a week, but you've still eaten every meal. Yes, you have. Or maybe you have to set 4 or 5 alarms in the morning. I'm sorry, that's going to be really annoying. I apologize for the heater. But maybe you have to set 4 different alarms because you know that if you hit the snooze button, you're never going to wake up. So you have to trick yourself, right? Those are the lizard brain things. Then in the foot of the cross, right? So there's this, and then there's like a long part that goes down. That is the first card. There is your magic wand. If you wave your magic wand, what is the best you see out of the situation? Like, if you could write the script of what's going to happen next, what would you say? And what like, I'm going to say this thing, and they're going to say this thing, and I'm going to say this thing right back. Ha-ha. Right? The next card is your hopes and fears, so the extremities of that situation. Then the last 2 cards are if you act upon it and if you wait for the universe. And usually they're in tandem, right? Not always, but usually. And in this case, they very much are. So to start, we will go with the fact your significator. Oops. I've made a mess. I'm sure that's relevant to Mercury is in retrograde. Okay. So anyway. Okay. So your significator is the Emperor, right? Now, the thing about my Emperor is he's a little bit too big for, or really his clothes are a little bit too big for him. And he's taking on a lot of responsibility that maybe he's not really ready for. And he's going to show them how strong he is. He's a very tough king. So tough. So tough.
and very wise. Look how wise he is. You may be in a place like this right now where you have to take on responsibility where that you maybe weren't ready for, but you do have to do it, and you're the only one that can. King Solomon was only 12 in the Bible, right? The wise guy, the literal wise guy. He asked God to make him smart, right? Not for all of the power, not for all of the wealth. This is something to kind of hold on to as the emperor, okay? Because what's going to happen, you are ready for it. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you are the one that's ready for it. And in fact, so much so that your most recent past is the Empress. So this is the card that in the alphabet comes right before your significator, right? Empress, Emperor. The Empress is pregnant and full of possibility and full of potential, and there's a lifeblood to it, right? But because this is the most recent past, and the fact that every other card that I pulled has blue in it, and this is the only red at all in the whole thing, most recent past, tells me that there is some kind of, it had potential and now it's got to be working, right? Like, there's only so long that you can take care of a baby and it's cute and it poops, and that's really exciting for like a minute, right? And now is the work part, is the getting up late every night and actually going through with it. And not that you don't have the potential, because you do. But then your significator is you actually have to be doing this work. Maybe, like I said, maybe you're not ready. You don't think you're ready, but you are ready. You are, in fact, wearing the crown. Someone put this crown on you, right? And crossing you, the eye of the storm, is the Ace of Swords. Notice also blue. Ace of Swords is putting your money where your mouth is taking on aggressively. I hesitate to call it a masculine energy because gender and sexuality and all of that stuff, right? But there is, it's a sly wit that is kind of akin to like a Lucifer, right? I know I'm using a lot of Bible references. If you need me to change that, just let me know. But you, this is what you have to say. And it's mean, and it needs said, and it needs what you have to, like, this to do it now. And that's the thing that you need to be ready for, is people are actually asking you to be just who you are, just who you've always been. Just tell me everything you want and you can have it. So what do you want? Well, let's consider the base card, yeah? In your most basic lizard brain, you have the Strength card. Now, traditionally, the card of Strength is represented with a woman who's either holding the jaws of a lion open or leading him on a leash. From this perspective, in the deck that I made, you're the woman. Again, gender doesn't really, we're not really focusing on it right now. But you facing this lion is Strength not necessarily being right? Which you can do, right? We know that. But this kind of let it get mean, right? Is the strength that you have being able to use this wit to talk to people. Because as much as you are a fighter, and you are, right? You're a sumo wrestler. That's a fighter. Your real talent lies in knowing when and when not to use your strength, right? And what kind of courage comes from not fighting and walking away, right? Which the reason that this is at your base card, your lizard brain, is you got a lot of stuff about why you don't want to walk away and why you're a fighter and why you're a man and That's not what this is about. Because at your heart of hearts, you have gentleness and love, and you are sweet. And that is the thing that is going to help you. That is your rock. That is your base card at your lizard brain. Now, crowning you, unfortunately, this is some conflict. This is Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is a fight, and it's a fight. You are righteous and petty. And you can be both. You can be both at the 900 people from Facebook last year. And you probably know a bunch of them. By the time I got to the end of I had real good reasons for all of the people that I had started deleting. And by the end, I've never liked your face. Bye. I've never, well, fuck this, right? You smell funny. I don't like your memes. I don't need you, you know? Very petty. Here's the thing, also very cathartic. And that's why it's at your crowning card. Because there is something to treating yourself correctly and not tolerating some bullshit. And maybe it's minor bullshit, but I'll give you an example. If you clean, say, your cat's litter box, do you leave some behind? No, right? You get it all. There's some litter box cleaning that happens in your crowning card. And maybe you are a little more bitter and a little more knowledgeable than you've been. And maybe you're going to be this Ace of Swords. Maybe you're going to be a little bit of a dick about it. You have the ability to be gentle. Know that. Remember that. But you also don't have to be a puss either, right? And I say that knowing that you know what I mean by that. So, the next card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, most recent future. Get a good light on it. 10 of Swords. There we go. The 10 of Swords has some nostalgia aspects. So you're going to be pulling from this guy. Again, remember I said the most recent past and the most recent future are kind of a Venn diagram, right? But your 10 of Swords is you're not going to get out without a few scratches, but you know that. There's going to be a lot of sticking flags in it. There's a lot of naming what responsibilities are. And maybe this has a lot to do with your strength, right? In that you can address the situation more like You can address the situation more businesslike, right? She says in glitter and flowers. What I mean by more businesslike is you, instead of motherfucker, what the fuck are you doing? Are you going to do anything? These are the items that we placed on the agenda last week. Were any of them followed through on? If they've not been followed through on, then I can no longer continue this contract. See? Very different things. You're going to have to figure out a balance of both. Both are coming. Both are here. Not even coming. You're in it, right? This is not news. We're not talking about anything you don't know right now. But next to your crowning card, and this is really interesting because in here, see how the base is blue, but it's yellow? You have a couple more of those. You have one more of those down here. But it's still blue. What is blue, right? It's investigative, right? It's mysterious. It's sick, right? It's a little like the fact that I'm wearing blue lips right now. It's a little startling. It's interesting, but it's maybe a little unpleasant, right? It's a little uncanny valley, right? Because people aren't supposed to be blue. That's a warning sign. That's a problem. But blue is also air and water and, right, like, so, like, blueberries, right? Things that we recognize as fresh, right? But also dead. So what I'm saying, though, in the contrast of this particular card is if you can write the script of what happens, well, my dear, you're looking in the mirror. This is the High Priestess. She is about going within and really studying yourself. Now, again, this whole thing is really about who are you, what do you want, what do you don't want, and how will you follow through in getting it? It seems pretty simple, but it's not, and for a lot of people. And part of probably what is running you down is that some of these people have some really big hopes and goals, and they had as much potential as you did when everybody started, but they're not on the same level. You have a different understanding of what needs to be done. And so going back to the Emperor and the High Priestess and the Empress, you need to be the one that does it. And that sucks and that's hard. But that also means taking on and taking off different responsibilities and mentoring and figuring out what it is that you have to give. And actually, I will share this little moment with you. Somebody recently gave, like, literally this morning, a trans friend of mine said, the thing that my biggest sin was that I deprived the world of Ed name being a character in Cats. Rum Tum Tugger. Doesn't matter. What an interesting concept. What an existential crisis. Because there's the Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world. But then, what was the change that you could have made that you deprived the world of? Holy shit. What didn't you share? What? Oh no. Now take that and go in to this card, your magic wand, right? Go into what you're building here with what do I have right now, practically, that will be the change of the thing that I want to see. And you're that thing, right? Be the change you want to see in the world, right? Nobody else can do this thing. We're going back to the emperor. You did not expect to be wearing this crown, but here you are. You are wearing the crown. You have this power. You are the one that's doing it. You are the ordained whatever, right? So that's your magic wand, right? If things go your way, then again, you get everything that you've ever wanted, right? If things go your way and the way that you see it, then all you have to do is look inside and be you, right? How Mulan, right? Your hopes and fears. I know this card real well. It's Four of Swords. You've come up with this group and these people and these ingredients and everything has been right for this stew the whole time. And you've all been partners and you've all been very close. And it's not going to work without that fourth partner, without that fourth ingredient, without that. But it might not be there. You might have to use a substitute. And you don't want to, because all of this potential happened. And all of this was there. And we were all together. But that's what all this thing is. That's what all of this blue is. Allen Ginsberg, kill your darlings, right? Sometimes you have to let some of it go. And you know what? It's possible that this extra ingredient, this extra whatever, maybe like it's gonna burn totally. And nobody wants to grieve. Nobody's like, oh yeah, I guess what I'm gonna do this weekend? I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry for hours. Okay, I guess some people are like that, but you're not that person. Grief is not fun for you, right? It's not a pastime. But it could also already be missing. And you could already know that. And that could be where all of these fights are coming from and where all of this pettiness is coming from. And where you do have to be putting your foot down. And why you have to be the emperor is because this person isn't and won't. And kind of part of the problem is you know that it won't. And you know that you're going to have to put your foot down. But if you want it to happen, if this is your absolute wants and your needs and thing that when you look inside, you are the thing that changes it, then maybe this is also a thing that needs to change. And that sucks. I agree. I've been every part of this card. I've been the fourth thing that wasn't included, right? That sucks for them too. I'm not going to tell you it doesn't. It's a catalyst. You move forward either way. The world does keep turning, with or without. Put all the cards back where they went. Okay. Now, the last two are if you act upon it and if you wait for the universe. So one more, blue and yellow, right? This
is the Three of Cups. It's work that looks like a party. I actually have on my wall, not in this room, in the hallway, a very large print of the Three of Cups. When I say work that looks like a party, you can even make it the wake of grieving this person or this object or whatever it is that's supposed to go in there that's not gonna. This is an opportunity too, right? And you are making this opportunity because you are the Empress, you are the Emperor, you are the strength, right? You are the High Priestess. So you are making this opportunity. You have all of the ingredients and you are moving it forward. You are the Emperor and the Empress who is throwing the ball. But at this ball, people are working. People are getting the thing done. I don't know if you're going to sit around and write grants. I don't know if you're going to read scripts. I don't know what. Is it wrestling? Maybe it's sumo wrestling. Whatever it is, though, you're the organization and you're the driving force. Like leadership, right, isn't about being like at the head of the table, right? If you're in the middle of the table, you can interact with everybody. And this is what you're doing. This is very much your sweet spot, right? And also there will be food. Who doesn't love that? The reason that the card is represented with wine and grapes is because who doesn't love stomping grapes? How much fun, aggression, and everything else can you get out of that? And then you have wine. Great. And you're dancing in it. It's wonderful. All right. And there's a brightness that comes from you. Hence the yellow, but it's on the blue. And then finally in reverse order, the universe. It's the Knight of Cups, or the Knight of Swords. Again, we're in blue. You got a lot of swords here, buddy. Whoa. So you've got a lot to say, and there's going to be a lot of talk. And talking is the catalyst. But these two kind of go together. If you wait for the universe and the storm, right? They're very similar. They're not far from each other. The Knight of Swords is the next step, right? You're not king yet, but you're not a page, right? You're out there fighting, and you're out there in the trenches with everyone. And there are trenches. And there's places to go, and there's places to move forward. Well, consider the chess piece. How does this one move, right? That's why I did all of the court cards as chess pieces, is maybe moving directly forward isn't always what you do. But you have to keep moving, okay? You're going to learn a lot about how to temper your anger and how to deliver it in such a way that the point gets across. And there's a lot of snipping. There's a lot of cutting. There's at least one major grief. But you're prepared for it. You are ready. You are wearing the crown. You do have the potential. You do have the people that are working with you. And you know the people that are going to do the work. And if they're not doing the work, then they're not in it. And really, they've been grieving before you. Right? Because if they really wanted to do it, then they would do it right. And if you really want to do it, you're going to do it right. So, on that note, good luck. I think you've got something really good to build on, but you do have to keep building and you do have to keep fighting, and it's not over and it's not going to be as much fun all the time, but you especially can make it fun. So, good luck. Let me know how it goes, and I will talk to you soon.